Hey everyone, welcome back to Podcast for Your Life. We're going to do something a little bit different today. We're going to have a guest on the show for the first time.
Woohoo.
Jason and I tried to record an episode about talk shows, and we didn't hit everything. There's so much to talk about with talk shows. We missed some really good content, and we thought, wasn't our idea actually, we totally missed the opportunity to have someone on the show like a talk show. What better opportunity than to talk about talk shows like a talk show?
It's super meta.
Yeah, very meta. So our guest is, do you want to introduce her, Jason?
Yeah, my wife, Marlene. Hi, Marlene.
Hi.
She's super stoked to be here, obviously. And yeah, we are just excited to hear her perspective. Marlene, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I have years of experience watching TV and talk shows. I'm pretty sure I've watched more than 10,000 hours of TV, which makes me an expert.
Wow.
So
Yeah,
you brought in the right person.
that is the threshold for like being a master at something is 10,000 hours. So she's there.
That's true. We
I'm
thought
there.
about like who would be an expert that we could bring in for this and also not have to pay them.
Yeah,
And thankfully
Perfect.
my wife said yes.
and is available during lunchtime.
And available. Yeah, this is great. Well, yeah, I guess let's jump in. Basically, you just want to throw this out there. What are talk shows? I feel like we need to define them because, for me, if a talk show is just like a show where people go on and they like interview somebody, you know they do that on the local news. So we need to define like what's a talk show.
Yeah, that's true. Basically, it seems like it's the sort of structure of a show, and in America, we definitely have a norm for how it works, where there's someone who's a host, they are recurring, and there's a guest, and the guest can be somebody who is an up-and-coming or already existing known person, either an author, a musician, an actor, some kind of artist, or sometimes there's even like scientists and stuff that can fall into that category. And I think we landed that like it's not always a serious conversation. It can be, but typically there's a little bit of an informative nature to it, but a lot of sort of casual relation type talk, and that's what distinguishes it from news. Would you guys agree with that?
Yeah, there's comedy involved for sure.
Yes,
and
comedy.
variety. Like it's not quite a variety show like SNL. I don't know if that would be that's more of a variety show.
Yeah.
But there is some variety, whether it's like they have special segments or they have like little skits that they do sometimes.
What about Dr. Phil, though? Is that a talk show?
Yep.
I think so, yeah. And maybe you'd say there's less humor in Dr. Phil, but
And they're not famous either.
right, that's true. He's famous, but it's also definitely not news. Like you can't take
Yeah.
what he says as fact. So
Cash me outside.
that's right. Maybe he doesn't have already famous people, but he makes people famous. That's his.
He does.
That's his.
Wait, was that girl on?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. Man. Dang, she
and
was
she's
like
famous now. I
5
mean,
seconds of fame right there.
it's horrible. No, she's had
She's
a little
still
bit.
famous.
Yeah, more than she should. Have,
Wow.
for sure.
Is she more famous than Dr. Phil?
Maybe.
Wow. So Dr. Phil would be a talk show. Dr. Oz.
Yeah, I've never watched that. Do you know Dr. Phil went to University of North Texas?
I did. Yeah, that's like one of the things that UNT brags about, and I'm like,
Ooh.
whatever.
I don't think the psychology department brags about it.
Oprah. I think Oprah would be a talk show.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
The Price is Right.
I don't think
Game
so.
show, definitely different.
Yeah, it is different.
Okay. Maybe it'll like transform someday.
Sure.
Obviously, any of the late night shows, Tonight Show, Late
Yep.
Night with so and so.
Survivor during tribal council.
No,
It's
that wouldn't be
That's,
it.
that's also
It's a stretch.
That's reality TV or whatever.
Yeah, reality TV wouldn't be. I don't think there's.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that would constitute a
Well,
talk
what's
show.
interesting too, and this is something we missed out on the first time, is that there's talk shows like there's a night talk shows which have a form to them. A lot of network shows have them, whether it's like the Tonight Show, Late Night, Conan, those types of shows. But then they have their style, and the morning version of those types of talk shows, the morning ones or during the day, couldn't be more different. It's like there's these different halves of talk show style that exist.
Different target markets for sure.
Yeah.
Yep. So, what's really cool about Marlene is that she's a Latina, which is super awesome. And so she grew up with a very different type of talk shows compared to a lot of the ones we have on TV in America. So do you want to share about like some of the differences you've seen or like some of the common types of talk shows you saw growing up?
Well, I don't think they were that different. It was more like Jerry Springer, but in Spanish. Like
All the shows are like that?
all of them. Yes, it was very much like there's this lady here sitting on the couch, and her husband cheated on her, and then they talk about how what a horrible man he is, and then they show like footage of him cheating on her, and then they usually will introduce the guy with something along the lines of like bringing the unfaithful one or something like that, and then he'll come out and the lady starts physically abusing him and just punching him. So that's usually every Mexican, Hispanic, I guess, talk show. It's always very dramatic. There's some kind of physical violence involved.
Yeah.
And for the most part, I'm pretty sure all of them are fake.
Yeah.
Just because I actually have factual evidence that they're fake. Because one time, even though older Hispanic people will argue with me because they're so into the shows, that if you were to ever tell them this is fake, they will say no, it's true because they're so invested in them because they watch them every day. But anyway, I one time was watching TV and just changing channels, and the exact same guy was in two different shows, different names.
Yeah.
And I just realized, well, this guy's an actor,
He's an actor.
and that's just what they hire him for.
Interesting.
So
wait, is there anything close to the type of talk shows that we're used to? So say like
Oprah?
Like Jimmy Fallon or Oprah?
There is one.
Okay.
Yeah, it's called Christina, and she's super famous, and she's basically the Hispanic Oprah, and that's basically what they were going for. So any American talk show or game show or anything, there's always a Hispanic version of it in Spanish.
Interesting. So she does the whole
of
thing
course in Spanish.
You get to this. It's like tú tienes calcetines or something like.
Did they have?
You have socks, really?
Do they have
Does she do that though? I mean,
No, I mean I think it's a little more low budget, so not everybody gets that much. But they also,
we couldn't afford a car.
Yeah,
for
we couldn't
everyone,
afford a car for everyone. You know?
get a mint. You get a mint. It's just
it's more like you get a book, and everybody's super excited that they're getting a free book.
Yeah.
So that's more like it.
Is there a Wheel of Fortune equivalent? Is there a Pat Sajak? A Mexican Pat Sajak who's been on the air for 30 years.
But also,
there's no Wheel of Fortune. That's too fancy.
And there's game shows too.
Okay.
If we ever try to do a future episode, we got to save that stuff.
It's true.
And we got to bring Marlene back, but
right.
We can't go there.
Okay, sorry, I'm just getting ahead of myself. I just get so excited with different culture TV shows. That's awesome. So would Good Morning America and the Today Show, would those be considered talk shows, or are those more news?
I think they're more talky.
Yeah.
I think they're more like talk shows. And I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, they usually bring people in. They also have a cooking, whatever time, or so they just kind of try to fill up time with whatever they can.
Yeah.
They just have so much. It's not like your typical talk show that's an hour and then they're done. They have sometimes the whole morning.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to just do a ton of random stuff to fill up time. Sometimes it goes from 9 to noon. So they have to do a little bit of everything.
What is it about talk shows that people like so much? Because it used to be just Johnny Carson and maybe whoever was before him. But now there's one on every major network and even some of the less major networks. And there's just a bunch of late night hosts. What is it about talk shows that, people are so attracted to them?
Yeah, I feel like the biggest thing I can think of is that it at least feels, even if it's, rehearsed or something, it feels like you're getting a peek behind the curtain a little bit. You're getting to see this person, actor, writer, musician or something, in just a normal conversation. It seems normal anyway, and they're not necessarily playing a role or whatever. And I think there's that degree to which, say there's somebody you really like already. They've been in these movies you've enjoyed or something. You're definitely likely to click on, watching a clip or watching their interview, especially if it's I'm going to learn a little bit more about this person. So there's not always a lot of information, but I think that's kind of the appeal. Would you guys agree?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's just I guess the desire that people have to be in the know.
Yeah.
Even that's why magazines make their money by giving you information, insider information about someone's life that you might not even know them, but they are high profile. So you're kind of like, oh, I want to.
But now you know them.
Yeah, it makes you feel like you know them, even though you really don't.
Yeah. And on some shows, I think they do more of that than others. Like, I think sometimes there would like be really intense conversations on like obviously Dr. Phil, but like Ellen and Oprah.
Oh yeah.
You know, and there's more serious conversations. But then I think about probably one of the big appeals of a lot of the late night talk shows is the humor. Mm-hmm. Like sometimes I'll click on watching something just because I know that person's funny, and I might not learn anything else about their personal life, but it might just be really funny and entertaining. So that's maybe there's a good chunk of people that just do it for that reason.
Yeah, probably. I think what I really like about one of the late night guys is that he asks questions that seem to kind of be a little more, not transparent, but seems to be kind of digging deeper than some of the other guys.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, they probably do the interview beforehand, so they kind of get like, okay, that would be a great story for the actual
You
interview
think so?
or whatever. Yeah, I think they do that.
Yeah, the
They rehearse the thing?
Jam and I talked about that because it makes sense that they would do that because then it's like, we want to like get the person comfortable to answering this question, but we also want to find the meat of the answers so that when they go live or when they go, for the official recording, we'll be like, they'll answer this way.
Yeah, it's a pre-interview. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That's
it makes
dumb,
it makes
because-
sense of a
yeah.
production standpoint.
Well, I guess so.
But also, I feel like knowing that, it's probably like, oh, well, if that's the case, it's a little less authentic.
And, well, I think to some degree, too, it's like if Jason's going to be on a show or something that I was hosting, and if I had met him ever once before, we would probably talk a little bit, and I just want to get an idea of what's been going on and what he's been working on, because then I can know what to ask in the real thing. So it sort of makes sense. I don't think they really plan out. At least I hope not. No, they don't plan out the actual jokes and stuff to the T. I think it is just an idea of like what's some good stuff to talk about, so that I don't so it's not too generic, I guess.
So people, I mean, I don't know if you guys know this. Do people get paid to go on talk shows or?
Probably.
I think so.
Depending on the talk show.
Because I'm thinking like that just, I didn't realize that it was that much work and you have to like do a rehearsal and then go live. That's a long time.
Yeah,
Well-
I think people get paid, to be honest with you. I'm not certain, but I'm pretty sure they do.
Jam and I both watch Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee, and from what I've noticed in those episodes, it looks like they're with them all day. Like, the premise is, you call them in the morning, hey, you want to go get coffee? But they drive for a long time, so I'm pretty sure it's like a whole day thing. They've got to be paid. Like, unless they're just like, I love Jerry Seinfeld so much that I'm going to give up my whole day. They definitely must get paid for that.
I'm thinking more like, if anybody was to not get paid, it would be just because you're getting to be on TV and people are watching you, and that makes you a little more famous.
Yeah.
Kind of like, I mean, not that I don't know that famous people have a resume, but kind of like you get to say, oh, I was on this show, or I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting, but it makes sense. I mean, you have to have something like that to make the model work to some degree, and we just hope that it's doing it for good stuff instead of just kind of a fake sort of deal. I really like Jason said, Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee, and I also really loved Dave Letterman. I felt like I liked his personality, and he's one of my faves, and his show now is really cool because it has more digging deeper type of interviews. Do you guys have any talk shows that y'all like more than others?
Favorite talk shows? I love Between Two Ferns with Zach Galifianakis.
Is that still going?
I don't know, but I hope it does.
Yeah.
His interviews are amazing. And I wouldn't say that his is an interview. It's more of a talk show format, although it's a little bit satirical.
Yeah.
Love it. I also do like the comedians, and then I enjoy clips of Colbert.
You guys said that this was not a talk show, but I'm just gonna say that Survivor Tribal Council is a talk show, and that's my favorite talk show.
Okay. What about one of the main late night ones? Do you like one more than others, like Fallon?
Well, it's I go to bed at 9:30, so I don't really make it to the late night talk show.
Do you watch the YouTube clips?
I do.
Okay. So who do you watch more of?
Jimmy Fallon, probably.
Okay. That's a fine answer right there. That's all the time we have. Thanks so much for listening, and thanks, Marlene, for being a guest on the show.
Yeah, thanks, Mar.
Yeah.
We will see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.